ghosts of the Bible. Where did they come from and where did they go? This is from Matthew, chapter 27, starting with verse 50. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in two from the top to the bottom. And the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and many graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. And they came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Now, when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things which were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly, this was the Son of God. So, those that came out of the grave and went into the holy city, okay, when the Bible talks about sleep, they slept in the Lord. Okay, they had died. It's referencing that their body, their physical body had died, but they went someplace else. Go back to Lazarus and the rich man that in hell. Okay, this whole concept about soul sleep, I hope you understand that's a bunch of bunk. Okay, it can be identified so many directions. What they don't have, well, maybe I should back up a little bit. Who were they? Where did the ghosts identified in the Bible? Who were they? Where did they come from and where did they go? We'll start at the beginning. Those that were in the place of protection, talked about by in Psalms. Now, Paul referenced back to them. See, any revelation that Paul got, you or I, with spirit helpers' assistance, can get any revelation he got, as long as we go about it the way of our Heavenly Father. Take heed as unto a light that shines in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star. Jesus, arise in the word, arise in your heart, okay? And the understanding will come. Spirit helpers' assistance to you and me. We can get any revelation. Just take the seed of the word and plant it, okay? But where did they come from? And where did they go? Those that want, it was after the resurrection. No, after the resurrection that they appeared in the holy city, Jerusalem, and appeared unto many. Jesus, who took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men, yea, unto the rebellious also, that the Lord might dwell. Okay. Paul referenced that. He got the revelation knowledge that he acquired about the DNA of God in us, the perfecting of the saints for the work of the ministers. Okay, he got that from Psalm 68. And then specifically identifying Psalm 68:18. But now, where did they come from? They were in that place of protection, Abraham's bosom. And Jesus, after he went to hell, he was on the hell side of the pit, and those that were on the Abraham's bosom, on the other side of the pit, those are the ones he took captive. He took captivity captive, okay? He took those to I'll use the term. I know it's going to blow the brain of some of you, and that's fine. I don't care. And come, at least do a little search before you make a comment on the pages down below. You can leave a comment, of course. Leave comments. That's great, wonderful. But do a little research first. He took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men, yea, unto the rebellious also, that the Lord might love. So he took Jesus after he was raised from the dead, 3 days dead, in hell, paid the price for sin, purchased, acquired salvation. Salvation is a huge word. Protection, deliverance, ministry of angels, healing, health. It's a giant, salvation is a giant word. Those that were in Abraham's bosom, those that he brought with him when, let's see, in between, when he rose from the dead, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he cast 7 devils, okay? Appeared first to her, and at that point in time, he said, oh, don't touch me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. Jesus had to go and present his blood on the heavenly mercy seat. Now, the term heavenly, throughout the Bible, everywhere you see the term heavenly, heaven is a term for space and not a place. Okay? Our Father who art in heaven, out in space. Abraham looked for a city whose builder and maker is God. Abraham looked for a city. Now, anytime you find reference to that city, the heavenly Jerusalem, that city, the city is, the term identifies a place with walls, a protective place, a safe place, where inside of that heavenly city, there is no evil that can ever get in there. None whatsoever. But it has gates, it has doors. So those that he took captive, now part of this is my opinion on how it plays out, but he took captivity captive, and once he had a few chores on this earth, he told Mary Magdalene, go tell my disciples that I go before them into Galilee, and there shall they see me. All right? So he gave her that mission, that commission, go and tell my disciples, of whom he had thousands and thousands of disciples on this earth at that time. Okay? So when he left that place of protection, Abraham's bosom, he had been on the hell side of the pit. When he was raised from the dead, he had, at that point in time, after 3 days and 3 nights, he had preached to those, presented the gospel to those that were on the hell side of the pit. And then he was raised from the dead, he crossed the divide, took captivity captive with him. Now, this is all happening, took captivity captive, gathered them up from that place before he ever presented, or before he ever showed himself to and gave Mary Magdalene that commission to go and tell. He took from them from that place, and in that, when he had a few chores to accomplish on this place before he presented his blood on the heavenly mercy seat, there was a little space of time. This is part of how I think it played out. A little space of time where people who had slept, their bodies died, okay? They had a little space of time, and Jesus gave them the opportunity to see and show themselves alive. And people identified them who had, people in Jerusalem identified those people as those that had died. They knew them, and they had, I'll say recently died, because they identified them. They knew that they had physically died. And they went and stopped to see, to look in on whatever people that they knew around Jerusalem, and there was many of them, many reports, many people saw them, those that had died, and they were seen walking the streets of Jerusalem. So we have absolute record that they were there, they had been seen, and they were identified as recently died, and those were among those that Jesus then took, after he finished the chores, took them to his Father's house. Now his Father, if you want to find out about our Father who art in space, space is a term, heaven, any place you see the term in the Bible, heaven, you can take heaven and space and interchange those two words, because it always applies, because heaven is a term for space and not a place. If you want to find out about God's house, you have to look at tabernacle or heavenly Jerusalem or something like that. Abraham looked for a city whose builder and maker is God, a place with walls, described extensively in Revelation chapter 21. That place, God's house out in space, out in heaven, out in the heavens. We have a heaven around this earth, and then we have the atmosphere of this planet, going back, but then you go farther and you get to outer space. Outer space, out in the heavens. The heavens declare the glory of God. He said, heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. What house are you going to make for me? What, on planet Earth? I don't think so. There is never any place, never in the entire Bible, ever, does it talk about God's house, his house on earth. Never in the whole thing. We live in the new covenant, not the old. Get a clue. We live in the new covenant, not the old. He takes away the first that he might establish the second. Jesus is the fulfillment of the old covenant, the establishing of the new. So where did he take them who were, ghosts that appeared in Jerusalem? He took them to his Father's house. And for all of us that are born of God, born again, not of corruptible seed, but incorruptible, by the word of God, which lives and abides forever, then that place that Jesus took those people to is what's identified as our Father's house. When he was going to the cross, just before he went to the cross, just a few days before, he was trying to let the 11 understand, or the 12, the disciples and those with him, what to do in the time of trouble. He said, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. And that is where he took those people that were in Abraham's bosom, in that place of protection. He took them to his Father's house. Now, once he got there, which probably took, that long, once they left the atmosphere of this planet, once he finished his chores on this earth, before he presented his blood on the heavenly mercy seat, he took those people with him to his Father's house. Now, the term that I'm going to use right here that you're going to go ballistic on, some people, well, they won't. They'll go, yeah, that's it. The term I use is heaven castle ship, because that's the way he talks about it. If you look at Revelation chapter 21 and look at it, use this, research the words that he used and look at how he described it. All of the verbiage that Jesus used about his Father's house. How did Paul put it? The Jerusalem which is above is free and is mother of us all. The Jerusalem which is above is free and is mother of us all. That's how Paul described that place. And I use the term heaven castle ship. That's where he brought them, and that's where they are. Now, I'm going to leave it right there for now. And we'll pick it up again later. The Heaven Castle ship, where the ghosts went when they left this planet and went to their father's house. All of those, they were in Abraham's bosom, looking forward to the time when Jesus, the Messiah, would come and gather them up. And that's where he took them, to the Heaven Castle ship. Okay, if you would be so kind as to like, subscribe, and share. Subscribing isn't all that important. Liking, to get it to go where YouTube algorithms and stuff will actually play in my favor to some degree. Liking is nice. So is making a comment. That helps too. And I will make it a mission to be nice, especially when Camera Girl is there with me. When I am responding to comments, she's really good about, come on, say it nice. Don't be a grump. She's got to tell me sometimes, don't be a grump. Just be nice when you respond to the comments. Okay. And a lot of times in retrospect, when I go, boy, I'm glad I didn't be a stinker butt about it. Because, you know, I appreciate interaction with you all, and we can have fun and enjoy the journey on this adventure that we're on, moving towards the Heaven Castle ship. Like, subscribe, and share, and enjoy the journey.